So the other side as well is, when we look at this, is one of the things which I dealt with as a kid is lifestyle approaches. So your lifestyle approaches is modification. So it's regular exercise and physical activity stops a lot of OCD, because once you actually tire yourself out, or you actually get to a point that you actually don't worry about things, is because you get to the point that you're not so concerned about it. Your adequate sleep and consistent sleep schedule. One of the issues I had as a kid is that I didn't sleep very well. I was always thinking of things, writing, coming up with ideas, whatever that is, and you work with that all the time. Stress reduction techniques, again, that's where I teach that a lot with meditation and pranayama or breath work, and learning how to do that breathing work. So I got to learn that when I was about 7 or 8, and that used to help me out a lot. And limiting caffeine and alcohol, and that's one of the reasons I don't drink alcohol very often, and I'm very rarely. I think I've drank twice this year of 2024, and probably won't drink much at all this year. And also caffeine, don't have caffeine in my diet, and I'm also not into eating chocolate either, which also causes caffeine inhibitors, enhancements. So again, you have to be very aware of that. And also sugar as well, sweets, too much salt, all that stuff is overstimulating and really a difficult thing for anybody who deals with OCD. Mindfulness and meditation, which is what I was speaking about, is the daily meditation practice. Again, when you're a child, if you're doing it for children, it's to do simple meditation, which just have them in a corner looking at a candle or something like that, or just get them to do counting on their hands and doing that and working that out. Mindfulness-based stress reduction, and then deep breathing exercises. So deep breathing is also learning, and that also is useful when, another thing was always really good for me when I was had with OCD, is actually going swimming. Because with swimming, it's like you're cleaning yourself, and you're going, but actually even with myself, that was found when I was going swimming sometimes. If I saw kids or I heard kids say something they'd done in the pool or something, I'd have to get out, because if those kids said, I peed themselves, the idea of they peed themselves and they laughed about it, I had to get out of the water, didn't like it. So again, these are all sort of things you have to look at. And progressive muscle relaxation, you can do that with body scanning and just work out every part of the body to work that out. Now, your nutritional support is very important. So your balanced diet in omega-3 fatty acids. Now, when you're children, generally, back then that wasn't really something thought of, but now as we go older, the balance of the omega-3, 6 and 9 are not so good, number 3 is better. So avocados, the fats of that, looking at olive oil, looking at things like that, and that's really useful for people to help them with. B vitamins, so B vitamins, a lot of kids used to have B vitamins, very common actually back then. They used to think it was Saragen or something like that it was called. Satagen or something like that they used to give you for kids, but obviously B vitamins also helps with the throat chakra as well, so it helps with communication. So bee pollen, honey, things like that, it's always good with B vitamins. Magnesium is probably one of the things most adults suffer with as well, so magnesium intake has to be taken up, and that also balances your serotonin issues. Reducing inflammatory foods, so not eating too much sugars, not eating too much overspiced, not eating too much over-salted food, fried food, things like that. Again, try and come up with a balanced diet. The more balanced diet you have, it helps. And that's one of the things I noticed was actually reduced with my mum. She knew that I had issues with certain foods, so she had to reduce the intake of certain foods. Alternative therapies is acupuncture. It's supposed to be very helpful to help people with OCD. Yoga practice, because of yoga practice you can then work that out into different ideas. Art therapy, which is where I went into, is music and art therapy, because with music and art, though you have OCD things, it actually channels your thought process into something, and it's also something called creative. So also that means that when you're putting your process in, it's a form of control. So art, I wasn't so great at art. I was good at drawing like comic book style, but I wasn't good at art as much. But with music, that was really helpful. So learning to write my own songs, learning how to play the piano, I did all that stuff on my own. So that was, and then also I had singing lessons as a kid later on when I was about 9 or 10, which really helped as well, because then that gave me a focus. So it was always practice. And again, with OCD people, it's really good to give them something to practice with or refine their skills.